54 people are still unaccounted for beneath the mounds. Natalie Malchas, Eyewitness News, George.
And multiple boxing world champ Dingaan Thobela has been laid to rest. Friends, family and fans paid their final respects to the Rose of Soweto at a funeral service held in Shawelo this afternoon. EWN Sport reporter Mawande Mateza has more.
A special official provincial funeral was held this morning to honour three-time world champion Dingaan Thobela. Hundreds of mourners filled the Dlamini multi-purpose hall to say a final goodbye to one of the most famous stars to come out of Soweto. Thobela was described as ambitious, talented and humble by friends and family, but his legacy is that of a world champion who showed what was possible in the new South Africa. His daughter Ntombi Thobela praised her father for overcoming the challenges he faced in apartheid South Africa to become a world champion in 1990 and an inspiration to many.
Despite growing up in a once racially torn nation, he had been a unifying symbol, rising above the adverse circumstances he faced.
He's survived by his elderly parents, 9 siblings, 14 children and 9 grandchildren. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News.
A fine day in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
On 947, this is Eyewitness News. Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I have come to accept that Naturena Village is now a holiday destination. Everyone who is there is not giving anything. They are there to take. You know, with the arrogance of the young Motaungs, I always knew that Chiefs will find itself in this situation. The less said about the coach, the better. Good show as always.
Yep, Kaizer Chiefs under fire so much, but guess what? They find themselves comfortably sitting in position number 8.
I tlo ke betsa ka Sotho tlo re boya holo man ka monyetlo re fileng wona ka kwano radio nge kholo fela ntwe ke batlang ho ibua. My words when I started here, I still say South Africa has been deprived one of the golden voices, whether in TV or in radio. My brother, you are always telling people how good they are. So today I just wanted to let you know that when coming to talent, no one, maybe Hasohlaye at the moment, the person that can replace Robert Marawa. You still have a long way to go, my brother. No one can retire Robert Marawa. Thank you so much, sir.
How do you retire your show every morning? Please, give me 5 seconds.
Afrika Borwa ke sebeditse so shara ka Batusta Batukara ntate ke sebeditse ke betsile.
Yeah, I can hear you speaking to Batukara and he's talking about Sabumzeni. I used to play in the Eastern Cape in the APC. That guy, he's the Guardiola of South Africa. Icon. I'll tell you Poza.
Imbuzi yami iphi yena nothwasa bayankolota. Love your time.
Tarob.
My gents.
This is one of my favorite human beings in the country.
But you owe him a mbooze.
Mbooze.
Not a mbooze.
Yeah.
Mbooze. That's what you owe him.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Yeah, you know, I think for me, it wasn't really tennis-wise, more mentally, that's not a word, mental-wise. I think, obviously I was up 5-3, I was serving for the set, and I lost that, and I think just being able to hang in there and eventually close it on my terms is something that I'm very proud of myself for. And I obviously played a lot better in the second set, so I'm hoping that when I play my match tomorrow, I'm able to learn from the mistakes that I did today and apply them better. You know, I'm a pacifist. I'm a neutral party, but however, Kendrick dropped some heat. That last song is amazing, and I played it walking onto the court. So currently, I think Kendrick's doing a good job.
Do you think that Kendrick should drop another song?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. But technically though, Kendrick dropped that song and then Drake dropped The Heart Part 6. So technically, Kendrick could drop another 2 if he wanted to. And me being a Kendrick fan, I haven't gotten this many Kendrick songs in a very long time. So, if he wants to keep dropping.
If he wants to keep dropping, let him drop. And if you're confused, I'm glad you're confused. That was just simply the former world number one, Naomi Osaka, listening to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us as she walked onto court central for her first appearance in Rome since back in 2021. That was yesterday. Now, Osaka prevailed, beating the 45th ranked Clara Burrell 7-6 and 6-1. And after that match, though, she was asked to pick sides in the rap feud between Lamar and Drake. And she was, kind of taken over by the music world in the past couple of days. I'm talking about just one more sporting code, and I thought I had to mention this because Nikola Jokic did it all again, and the MVP trophy is his again. Jokic, the Denver Nuggets star from Serbia, being announced yesterday as the NBA's most valuable player. It's his third time winning the award now in the past 4 seasons, a feat that just 6 other players in the league's history have ever accomplished, averaging 26.4 points, 12.4 rebounds, 9.0 assists, and others average more in each category. And also Jokic has had better years in each of those categories as well. But he was the only player to rank in the NBA's top 10 in points, rebounds, as well as assists per game this season. Yeah, well done, big man.
I don't know. I have to be honest, I liked the last year when I didn't get it, and then we won a championship, much better. It's I don't know what to say. It's it's a journey, it's a process, it's a trusting in your teammates trusting in you. It's just a whole collective effort that put me in front of the bright spotlight, and I'm kind of the guy. But there is a lot of people, players, coaches, strength coaches, development coaches, medical staff behind me, family, of course, and that you guys don't see it, and I'm just one of them.
You mentioned your family. How important, how much more does it mean having them in the room with you when it gets announced and having their reactions too?
I mean, I didn't invite them. They just show up. So I'm like, who wants to drive 45 minutes here to get it? But it's nice, It's a special moment. Probably I'm gonna remember. Was the name the whole life. So it's I like to say the legacy for after career.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Here's a little secret, and you know what? Whenever there's a great, promising talent that pops up into the spotlight, you'll hear a lot of people saying, hey, here's one for the future. And they'll say this over and over again, a phrase that I feel is most of the time pretty much misused. But then, hey, there's going to be a young man who's going to pop by, and he's here sitting right in front of me. And when you say that's one for the future, and you mean it, it's exactly what it is. Now get ready to meet an outstanding guest tonight. I mean, there's lightning fast wing play. When you look at the exceptional goal-scoring skills that he's possessed and possesses, and I'm sure he'll still possess in years to come, they've earned him a pretty early and well-deserved reputation. He hails from Cape Town, was awarded the Breakout Player of the Season in Joburg. That was back in 2021, and established himself as a force to be reckoned with in Sweden. He excelled incredibly with the 2 teams that he was associated with there. An impressive record of 11 goals, 10 assists, 33 games that he had at IK Sirius. I'm not sure if he's serious, but yeah, he'll tell me. There's a lot of these names that I'm pretty sure I will mess up. But, we don't speak fluent Swedish, do we? We'll try our best. He's recently joined, though, the Yellow Nation. Has made an immediate impact. We are honored to have the opportunity as well to hear from this remarkable player himself. Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder for the first time in studio. Tashreeq Matthews, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rob. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling? Hey, you've Sundowns and you've hardly sat down, but you're a league champion.
It's amazing. My first time being a champion, and haven't been here long, and I already have a title. So it just means that you have to continue working.
What's the magic, though, at Mamelodi Sundowns that you feel works, that you found working, that when you got there, just almost they embraced you and you became part of the furniture?
I wouldn't say there's any magic. It's just that the team, amazing people, amazing staff. And just when I came, they welcomed me into open arms, and I felt it felt like home from just when you step into the place. So everyone has the same goal, to go forward, upwards, and to win all the time. So you just have to follow the train and jump on it and work hard and go with the train.
I mean, did it meet, match, equal any of your expectations that you had before you even stepped foot at Dortmund?
I had a little bit of an expectation, and most of it exceeded my expectation. Actually.
Really? Like what?
In terms of because when I came, they said, we're still working on the place and things like that. So when I came and I saw inside, and I was like, but there's not really a lot to do here. So there's already it exceeded a lot of expectation that I had. And also, I mean, at Sundowns, it's a big club. It needs to have all the facilities to be champions.
Now, you've kind of been, at your very young age, almost traveled a certain part of Europe, but a major part of Europe. And then when you come back home, and I'll get to part of the reasons why you made that full circle, and then you came back in search of, I think, my last conversation that I had with you, and it was the excitement of breaking into the Bundesliga. And I mean, you're still wearing the similar colors to your then team, Borussia Dortmund. Yeah. You'd have seen them this week earn a spot in the UEFA Champions League. What went through that heart of yours?
I mean, I watched it, and I supported Dortmund, because in Germany I support Dortmund. Yeah. So I watched it, and I'm very happy for them. And for me, I was like, it could have been me if things went a bit different on that side. But I'm happy for them.
When you say that it could have been you, elaborate though, because at times we never get the full story. We read what we read, and we are like, oh, geez. But the thing is, you were there. You made it. You were in their books.
Yeah. The only thing that it was, I wouldn't say it was a small thing. I think it was a big thing that the working permit part was a bit was okay in the beginning, and then as everything got sorted out, then it became complicated. So I was assigned to the first team, and I was still 18 years old. And and we expected that I could spend the first year with under 19s and just getting used to the physicality, the way things are there, and then after that going into the first team. But then a few weeks after, they found out that because I had a first team contract, and then I couldn't spend time playing games with under 19, and I could only play in a professional level. And at the time, the first team was already filled, and it was difficult also to get into the team. Of course, the big names that are there, and I also just arrived on the scene. So for me, getting game time was very difficult, because I had a first team contract, and I could not play on any other amateur level at Dortmund. So playing with under 19s during the league was impossible for me because of the contract that I had. And then as well, they only also applied if I could play UEFA Youth League. And then already 2 games into the group stages, it got to prove that I can play. So I also only played 2 games of the UEFA Youth League that I could play.
But how did that affect you, though? Because you got a taste of what we see when they're playing, especially in the UEFA Champions League, and what we've seen now. And it looks mad. It looks like the entire world is at Dortmund. Everything is just yellow. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when it's match day, the city, it shuts down. Yeah. Basically, it's yellow and black all over the city. Some roads get closed down because that is where the fans are walking. Shops, I think, close earlier, and then the bars in Germany opened because
that's bars all the time.
that is the thing. And then, so basically on a match day, it's a different feeling compared to a regular day, and you will see and you will notice that it's match day today. And even the traffic, you can see the stadium like maybe 50 meters away, but it can take you almost an hour to get there with your car if you have a parking ticket to park inside.
I was thinking about it just probably last night when it was concluded who's going to be playing in the UEFA Champions League final. And I'm like, here's this team that can say goodbye to an Erling Haaland and say, cheers, you go to Man City. He thrives, he does well. Borussia Dortmund doesn't crumble. Here's this team that says to Bellingham, cheers, goodbye. He goes to Real Madrid. And they don't crumble. In fact, they're in the Champions League playing against the same Real Madrid where a Bellingham has gone to. What does that say about what they have there and what you experienced?
I mean, at Dortmund, actually in Germany, I think it's split into two, the different sections of Germany, and the side Germany is on, I think it's on the west side, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think in their region that they are in, they are one of the best academies in their region, and I think also in Germany, one of the best. So they produced more, I wouldn't say since what I have seen, and in terms compared to the other teams, they produced a bit more of the quality, the technical players on their side, and it's also very difficult to make it into the first team. And even though you are there, the difficult part is then to get your game time and play. So I have a lot of teammates that I played with in the youth league and that I was with under 19s when I was there, that made it into the first team and it got a couple of games, but then couldn't break into the first team that to get regular game time. And then some of them, they go on loan to the second Bundesliga. Some even goes to other teams in the Bundesliga. So it's not to say that the quality that you have there at Dortmund is capable of playing, I think, at most of the teams in other teams in the Bundesliga.
Just quickly, though, before I take a break, were there any of the players that are currently playing who are going to be at Wembley? Did you manage to make friends with any of the current players?
At the team now, I think Yusuf Makuku, the young, fantastic player. And when I was there, he was 16, 15, 16, if I'm correct. He's born 2005. So, yeah, playing with the under-17s and then watching and then him scoring 5 goals a game, sometimes 6, and then just dribbling with the ball by himself. So,
come back after the break. The incredible story, when you grow up in Hanover Park in Cape Town, and another great in Benny McCarthy, who's now at Old Trafford, is also from the same neck of the woods. What goes through your mind? Because you got Europe within touching distance, and that's what everybody really dreams of playing for. But guess what? He's in South Africa playing for a top team in Mamelodi Sundowns.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Life isn't always convenient. Like when you don't pack lunch because lunch would be served at the lunchtime meeting with client, but the lunchtime meeting with client got cancelled, and so did your lunch. Luckily, what is convenient is popping over to your nearest Engen Quick Shop & Co. for all the things you need for a delicious lunch. Get amazing deals from Engen Quick Shop & Co. until 30 June 2024 at your convenience. Terms and conditions apply. Engen, with us, you are number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a final boarding call for Lotto Star's Aviator to the Land of Fortune. All passengers, please proceed to lottostar.co.za to cash out. You could win payouts of up to 20 million rand. To date, 175 players have become instant millionaires thanks to our lucky plane. Take off with Lotto Star, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
ENCA's election coverage is heating up as we build up to Election Day on May the 29th. Poverty, crime, unemployment, electricity, water, the housing crisis, and the state of our political parties. Your cross could be the critical choice. So tune into ENCA for all your up-to-date election news, coverage, and analysis on ENCA DSTV channel 403 and ENCA.com.
We weren't born to stand still. You know what I'm talking about. The itchy feet, constantly on the hunt for the next hustle, the next adventure, the next horizon. We get it. It's in our DNA. This inner drive to push, own our path, and be more. Which is why we're excited to introduce the all-new Suzuki Jimny 5-Door.
The Suzuki Jimny 5-Door, born for the urban jungle and more. Now with extra space, wireless connectivity, and rear-view camera. Suzuki Jimny 5-Door, born for more. Available from 429,900.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading lens enhancements. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Book online or call your nearest store today. Specsavers for affordable eye care and a whole lot more. T's and C's apply.
It's time to carve yourself. Because prepping wena means protecting yena.
To stay forever wena, get tested whenever.
Forever ask for consent. Condomize.
My sex if you're not feeling it. Be forever prepped and forever status checked.
Because it's not one or the other.
It's forever wena. Know your sexual health options and choose you. Visit foreverwena.co.za.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
But to Kada, the general co-owner, that's where he stands right now, as well with Kamoile Mokocho. You got two venues in the Free State.
Yes, sir.
And they were both non-compliant. They even had the audacity to say, okay, seeing that these two stadiums are non-compliant, you're going to take your game, you're going to bring it to Gauteng. And they charge, what, 195,000?
195, Tarop. The government came on board. We managed to play there. The stadium was full, Tarop.
Should have been 23,000
For an ABC team, the original supporters of Bloemfontein Celtics, they were behind us. They were saying what we like from you. You never invited us over the radio. You respected us. You wrote an email to us.
#MSW. #MSW.
Yeah, the show is live on the YouTube channel, so if you want to watch, comment, and listen, please feel free. Tashreeq Matthews, my guest.
Hi, Rob. This is Tomiati. Greetings to Tashreeq. Rob, I want to ask, how does he control fame into his head? Because he's super good, man. I think he can see that he's good. How does he control the fame not to go into his head and think I'm a superstar? How does he handle himself, like from pressure, things sort of? Wish him all the best, Rob. He's a marvel to watch. Thanks, Rob. Good show as always.
Well, thank you so much indeed. A fascinating player, a very, very gifted, highly talented indeed. How do you answer that question? I mean, how do you control the issue when it comes to fame?
Some of the things, it's part of the package, some of the stuff. And then, like they always said, keep your feet on the ground. I mean, there's some things that you get and some things that you just have to be yourself, you know, because some people tend to change up a little bit. If the situation gets a bit big, they change a bit. But I mean, just being yourself is the best that you can do as well.
How important was it for you to learn languages?
Well, it wasn't that important, but I was interested to learn other languages. Like when I was in Germany, it took me like I think 4 or 5 months to understand everything, and I could at least have a decent conversation with coaches or the players or whatever, and just to get myself around as well. And then in Sweden, it took me maybe 3 years.
In Sweden, it was more difficult.
Yeah, it was more difficult because it was the first time I went there. It sounded like it was like a Chinese language or whatever. But it took me 3 years to understand the language. And then also my friends at my last team, my teammates that I was very close with, they taught me a bit more to speak.
Yes.
But they were using a lot of slang, so I was learning the slang. I was learning the slang in Swedish. But for like now, if you would speak Swedish or anyone, I could understand them.
But also talk back. Though.
I could also, Because
I mean, if it's taken that long, might as well just be rolling. And
but the Swedish, I'm not so comfortable speaking it.
So the league, and I avoided trying. It's got a very special name,
Allsvenskan.
Okay, so not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So I could catch a flight and go to Sweden immediately. I'd know what's cooking over there. Hey, but the reason why I talk about languages is in trying to explain this. When somebody like Benny McCarthy got the call up to go to Manchester United, not only was he somebody who is well adept to being a coach, but having a guy like Erik ten Hag, who they would have spoken something similar to Afrikaans, who would understand each other, but then Benny, given the makeup of the players that are at Man United, so in one moment you're supposed to speak Portuguese, in one moment you're supposed to speak Spanish, in one moment you're supposed to speak Dutch, and then English, and he can speak all of those languages very fluently. So that becomes a plus in the afterlife of football, but it's a plus as well when you're playing. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you can communicate, like Benny can speak these 4 languages, if not more, it's a plus. Also, example, as a player as well, if you're playing against teams, like example, if we had to play against a team from Germany, I would be able to understand what they are saying and would be able to translate it to my players and tell them this is what they are planning. And even in Germany, we also had Spanish lessons that we had to attend, because in the UEFA Youth League and also, if you're playing European competitions, you play against Spanish positions. And then, we learn Spanish. So, so then the communication that they have, it wouldn't be something new to us. It would be something we've been learning, and then we would also understand in terms of what they are planning and stuff.
And if you had to land in Belgium, for example,
Belgium has Flemish and French.
Yeah.
So Flemish is a bit more like Dutch.
Yeah.
And they just mix it a little bit with a French.
So you would be able to greet someone when you go.
Yeah.
What would you say for a greeting? For example?
I mean, you say hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, hi.
Hello,
and it's just the difference is when they say bye, they say Dewey.
Dewey. That's exactly what I'm going to be saying to Lance Davids when I'm finished here. Lance, good evening, all the way in Belgium.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very, very good. Lance Davids joins us, man. Hey, Bafana International, a superstar joining us, who's now Tashreeq's agent. Hey, very proud, I'm sure.
Always proud when the youngsters are doing well, Rob. Especially Tashreeq has traveled the world. He's played in Dortmund, he played Youth Champions League, he did some rounds in Holland, and then he also did really well at his club in Sweden. We learned a lot, especially at Joburg, and then he went to Swedish and being the top player. And then, moving back to South Africa, where everyone thought it would be a backstep, but I don't think it was. If you look at Sundowns, they play in the best in the continent, and now they're qualified for the Club World Cup. So if you look at his age, he's still going to be doing his rounds still against the top European teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important point that you touch on, Lance, because you find a lot of South Africans saying, now that you've been in Europe and you come back so early, why not, progress more competitive leagues in Europe? How do you respond to that?
No, of course, everyone's going to have to say, Rob, especially in football. Everyone has their opinion, especially the gardener also. But at the end of the day, and in today's football life, I would also say, at the end of the day, the players we give them the advice, Rob. And then at the end of the day, they make the final decision, and of course, at that stage, Tashreeq was doing really well in Sweden. There was, I would say, options, and, we spoke about it. And of course, we gave him the pros and cons. And, if you look at, like I said, Sundowns, yes, they're playing in the South African League, but they also, if you look at the administrative and also the way they're playing, is more European. I watched them when they were in Holland. They were going tip-to-toe with the best of teams in Holland. So if you look at it, Tashreeq will learn a lot. Of course, they play in every year continent. And if you look also at the games they play around 50 games a season. And now with all these new tournaments are coming, it will be only good for him. And I always say, I did it. I came back to South Africa. I was in the World Cup squad, and I've been back to Europe. So why can't Tashreeq also do it?
The Club World Cup, that'll be an added juice.
100%, and there you can see already the teams that have qualified, and you look at Tashreeq will only be around, he'll be 26, going to be 26 when he play the Club World Cup, so that he's still young, he's in his peak, and it's only, like I said, it's up to him, and like I said, now he's done really well, he's getting well into the Sundowns squad now, like you can see now, he's peaking nicely, scoring his goals and getting well accommodated to his players, so I don't see this a backward step if you ask me.
I don't know if I should be asking you or him about not going to the MLS. I know that there was huge, massive interest in him going across there.
No, 100%, Rob. Like I said, if you compare, don't get me wrong, MLS. I'm not saying I'm not downgrading the MLS. If you look at if you can compare the Sundowns team to one of those top MLS teams, you can say that they can also go tip to toe. And of course, everyone's talking about finances. Finances is important. But at the end of the day, where is Tashreeq himself? And we had a chat about it. And, at the end of the day, he makes his decision. And we give him those pros and cons. And he makes a decision. The player must always be happy about it. I don't want him to come back and say, but you said that I must go there and now it's not working out. And of course, don't get me wrong, in today's football, not like it was in my days, the coaches speak to him, the tactical, most of the technical team and the analysts also speak with him. So he will feel comfortable. And I think Rolani did a great job when he had a chat with Tashreeq.
Yeah, talking about that, because of the number of good players, Lance, that you find at Mamelodi Sundowns, and a lot of people say, you're going there, you're going to be wasted, you're going to sit not even on the bench, you're going to sit in the grandstand. At times you don't even sit in the grandstand, you sit at home. But understanding what this club wants, and you talk about even playing 50-plus games in a season, do you believe, though, that understanding both from you as an agent, the manager of the player, and also the player himself who's sitting right here, understand the bigger goal that Sundowns have?
No, sure. This is where before Tashreeq signed, the club wanted to speak to him, and that's where Lani told him, of course, in football, there's no guarantees. And if you want to play, if you want to be at the best clubs, you want to win trophies, you're going to have to compete. That is always the first thing as a player. You need to know what you're coming up to, and this is where at Mamelodi Sundowns, every training you have to be your best. You can't. It's not a day where you think, I'm going to start on Saturday, because they got a lot of pool of players, and you can see the team is always rotating. So I know many players don't like the rotation system, but they have to prove themselves. They should not be in the rotation system and give their best. And it was. I think it was also difficult for Tashreeq in the beginning, but I think he's adapting really well, and he's coming to the certain way he's going to get into the team quickly, and also show the coach. But like I said, and I think Rolani did really well. He didn't throw him in the deep end in the beginning, because that's how many coaches or anything I do when a top profile player comes from Europe. So they graduated him really good, and I think he's really happy and he's finding his feet really well now.
I know you guys probably speak every day, eh? Tash, what do you want to ask? Lance, anything?
I don't have anything to ask. We speak often, not just every day, but we speak often. And if I have something to ask him, he knows I'll give him a call and
give
ask
him a shout.
Yeah.
What about Bafana, Lance? Because there's sometimes a feeling that when you're playing in Europe, in, let's say, non-Premier League teams that we see day in and day out, then you're a bit lost in the system. And no matter how well a Tashreeq can play, whether it's in Sweden or the Bundesliga, if you're not really exposed to that as a national team, you'll be overlooked in a sense. Did you get a feeling that maybe he would have started suffering from that, or was he suffering from that, just the lack of that immediate exposure to the Bafana technical team?
Well, Rob, you and I, we will have our different opinions on those situations, which I think, just as a country, I think it's the wrong way of them looking. Everyone is always complaining about why don't we send young players to Europe? Why don't we do that? And, sometimes mentally in today's football, mentally it can hit a player when they're doing their best, they're scoring the goals and they're doing the assist and they're doing everything that they should do, and they don't get the call up. Yes, the coaches make their decisions and they have the final say. But I just think also on that, I don't think, if you look at it, and don't get me wrong, Rob, not one of the South African Osafa spoke to the club, not once, to the club of Tassie. No one watched to come watch him live at one game. So they watch him on Y-Scout. Yeah, I can also open my laptop and watch on Y-Scout. That's not a problem. But had they had in discussions, did they speak to Tassie? Many national league coaches, if you look at the Nigerian coach, he flew all the way from Nigeria to come to Chippa and speak to the coach of Chippa United and visit the club and visit the player. So why we have all these types of resources in South Africa, but we're not using it enough. And this is just an example. I'm not saying, Tassie was doing well. Yes, it's Swedish league, but where do the Swedish players go? The Swedish players go to play in the Premier League, they go play in the Belgian league, they play in Spanish league also. Where did Zlatan leave? Zlatan went from Sweden to Holland to go play for Ajax Amsterdam. So I just think we should do more better, because we have players, a lot of players, but then the question is always, why don't we send our players to Europe? But why? Because of these type of situations. Mentally, they're saying we are doing well, but we're not playing in our national team. So it's always difficult. But like I said, and I'm not saying this of Tashreeq, but I hope now, he's done his business, and I hope he gets a call up, because I think that's also every player's dream, or every South African young player dream, to play in the national team.
No, beautiful one, Lance. I think you've done a great deal of business, great bit of business in bringing Tashreeq to our very own eyes here in South Africa. And in the short spell that he's had at Mamelodi Sundowns, you can tell here that for many, many years, we've got a quality player, regardless of wherever he'll end up playing in the future. But right now, though, everybody enjoying him at Mamelodi Sundowns. Wishing you all the best, man. Don't be a stranger.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for your time. Safe, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much there. That's Lance David, Tashreeq's agent. Talking about the national team, everybody's dream. Do you feel you're so much closer, not only to us as fans, but, for the national team coaches to have a closer look at you?
Yes, it's in South Africa, and if you look at it, a lot of the players in the national team are playing in South Africa, and majority of them are being selected from the league. So for me, I feel like it's much more closer for me than the time I was in Europe.
What's your ambition? What's your dream, though, when it comes to the national team? There's so many possibilities. You'd have watched AFCON, how close we got.
Yeah, also for every player, not just for me, for every footballer that's playing in South Africa, in Europe, or I wouldn't just say South Africa, every player around the world, they would like to represent the nation. So it means a lot to each footballer out there, just to represent the national team.
World Cup qualifiers, does that excite you?
It's exciting. I would say it's exciting for me, for every other player that I'm sure every other player wishes to be there as well. So it's exciting for every footballer just to be at that stage.
I'll ask him after the break if he remembers his debut goal for Sundowns when they played against Chippa United, and also take your calls, take your views, take your WhatsApp voice notes. Hey, Smongeleni Desilo, I see you.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
In 500 meters, turn right. In 500 meters, turn left. Turn right, turn left. Make a U-turn. Recalculating. Turn right.
When your head feels all over the place, try Himalaya Mentat, the daily herbal supplement that helps the whole family manage stress, boost memory, and maintain a sharp and focused mind.
You have arrived at your destination.
Himalaya, the herbal expert since 1930.
Hollywood Bets is offering you Flights of Fortune this May. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million rand worth of bonus bets by betting 10 rand or more on Aviator. Enter the chat daily between 7 and 9 p.m. for a chance to reap those rewards. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 071 Music X 26 to 28 July 2024 at Gallagher Convention Center will be an immersive music experience with an indoor music festival, exhibition, workshops, and a Battle of the Best competition. Enter Battle of the Best on musicx.co.za to win prizes such as 100,000 Rand in cash, as well as a developmental record deal from David Gresham Records. Catch performances by Mikasa, Zakes Bantwini, Franco van Coke, Tamara Day, and more. Get your tickets on web tickets now. #Music Moves.
It's Harold Net Florist Hotline. Heather on the line.
Oh, Harold, I didn't get anything for my mom last Mother's Day.
And how did that end?
With me doing handstands in the shower.
Not a position I'm familiar with.
She drowned my dinner with ghost pepper chili sauce.
I see. Ooh, and now I can't unsee.
What should I do this year?
Get out of the shower and go online. Send her some beautiful blooms from Net Florist. Order before 9 May and they'll include some Freeland chockies. Net Florist. It's easy to show you care.
Tommy, have you heard about CTM's quality bathroom sale? It's affordable style for everyone.
Oh, really? My bathroom needs a makeover. What's on sale at CTM?
Beautiful porcelain tiles, luxury baths, stylish cabinets, and up to 10-year guarantees on bathroom wear. And exclusive ranges from Tivoli and Kilimanjaro.
Oh, I have to see these deals myself.
Do not miss out. Discover your inspiration in-store or online today.
CTM's quality bathroom sale is now on until the 2nd of June. CTM, big savings, more style.
Spurs Family Club rewards you with vouchers and more for doing, well, everything you already love doing at Spur. And now you could even win one of 3 Toyota Starlets. Just sign up to the Spur Family Club and order anything you like. Cause this ain't a participating products only kind of vibe. Download the app and every time you spend 250 Rand at Spur, you get an entry to win a car. Cause there's no such thing as too much pink sauce or too many entries into winning a new car. Spur, people with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
But to cut up, the general co-owner, that's where he stands right now, as well with Kamoile Mokocho.
Now my dream, and Kamo knows, my dream is to see Kamo retiring, playing for the general. That's my dream. I want to see him playing his last season there.
Can you afford to pay for his insurance?
No, this one will pay himself. This one will pay himself, Tarop. And now, because he still has about 5 years left, I know he wants to go back to overseas. I told the Naturena guys there to say, hey, you guys, I can see you struggling. Take this one before he leaves.
My hope was when I come back to South Africa was to play for Bloemfontein Celtic. And I came back and there was no Bloemfontein Celtic.
And guess what? Bloemfontein Celtic is now Royal AM.
#MSW. #MSW.
Yeah, Tashreeq Matthews is my guest, Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder. An exciting prospect. He's made his debut. He has scored the goals. In fact, let me remind him of something before I go to you, Silo.
Oh, brilliant. That is absolutely sublime. And Tashreeq Matthews is on the score sheets again. And Kaizer Chiefs could only hold out a matter of 7 minutes or so after the interval before their resistance crumbles.
Top quality combinations to find themselves squeezing that ball in those tight areas, and also having a man that was ready to get through, to be ready on the far side to just tap it home. That is Sundowns at their best.
So, getting all 3 points really scuppered early on as Matthews is sent through, and Matthews makes absolutely no mistake to double up and put Mamelodi Sundowns 3-0 in front.
You know what game that was?
Yeah, the Kaizer Chiefs game.
The Chiefs game. Your brace. What does that mean, given the stature of what we know of Kaizer Chiefs?
I mean, it's also, I would say, one of the big clubs in South Africa, but also my first time playing against Kaizer Chiefs. Even as when we played tournaments or even in the Tusker, I never got to play against them. And also even playing in these stadiums. It's my first playing in these stadiums as well. But I mean, big games like that, it's always, it's excitement, it's fun. It's games you want to play. So, and also, I mean, doing well, it's just bonus. It's just another bonus.
Silo, thanks for your patience in Pretoria. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Tash is here.
Tashreeq, how are you, my man?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm okay, thank you very much. It was actually my first time seeing you in action in the game against Kaizer Chiefs at the Johannesburg Soccer City. A great performance that you dished out on the night, my man. I'm actually a Kaizer Chiefs fan, and I was blown away with the performances that you gave on the night. But coming from, you are a player who's coming directly from Germany to come and join Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa. Why did you choose Mamelodi Sundowns? Because I'm of the belief that there could have been many teams that were chasing you that were after your services. Why Mamelodi Sundowns amongst all other teams that had the interest in, to acquire your services? Thank you.
Silo, thank you so much indeed. You might have answered that slightly earlier, but maybe just give a shortened version of why Sundowns.
It was I would say something also just to get closer to the national team, like I said, and also one of the stuff that also came to the table, and one of the interesting stuff that came to the table, but and also one of the stuff that my former club accepted.
Okay. And you were happy? Did it take long though?
I would say I had a limited amount of time for that, but I had a thought about it, and I had about a day or two to think about it for myself, and I was sitting and I was looking and I was telling myself it's the biggest team in South Africa, and the competitions that they play in, and also that we are close to playing in the FIFA Club World Cup, and that's also a big competition. So I had a thought about it, and I said, I will have a go at it.
And you're excited, I can see that.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Phil Felang here, and good evening to the MSW shoulders, and good evening to Tashreeq Matthews there, your guest over there. Oh man, I just love to see young players that are doing really well for themselves, and Tashreeq Matthews is really one of them. I just want to find out from Tashreeq Matthews, what experiences were you able to learn or to grasp in your stay in Sweden that you were able to bring to Mamelodi Sundowns? Because I feel there's every intent and there's every reason why all big teams, they want you there. You know, there's a reason why they signed you there. So I just honestly want to find out what were you able to, like the kind of lessons that you learned during your stint in Sweden that you were able to bring along with you when Mamelodi Sundowns gave you the call. That's what I want to find out. Great show as always. Thanks.
Yeah, from being breakout player of the year, and when you get that award, I mean, it's like Kulufalang saying that there's a great deal for you to learn in that journey. What would you say that lesson was?
I mean, in Sweden, I wasn't playing for the best team.
Yeah.
In Sweden, I was playing in the beginning for a team that just came into the Allsvenskan, so the highest league in Sweden. So for them, being their first time in the league, and you can imagine the financial part of the club wasn't the strongest. And then I actually learned a lot in terms of running the opposite way.
Explain that.
Defensively.
Oh, okay. I
actually learned a lot defensively in terms of putting in the legs on the field, and then at the Sirius, a better club, better structure. Well, there I got there, and for me there it was just about playing, gaining experience, and also at the other clubs there are players that do play in national teams, like Denmark, that do play in Sweden. I mean, Sebastian Larsson played in the Premier League, and also playing against him in the midfield in Sweden with his experience. And so for me there, it was about just enjoying myself and gaining experience as well on the field.
But you were doing a balance of both, and I think in 2021 when you got the award, 27 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. There was something that was brewing, and I think the coaches were understanding you. They were maybe feeling sorry for you and saying, "Are you going to deal with the conditions, the climate, etc.?" But you adapted very quickly.
I mean, for me, just the only thing different in Sweden was because the type of football changed. But I mean, it's. I just had to get myself to know that I have to run the opposite way, defensively, much more than what I'm used to Example, at Dortmund, we always, on the attack, always had the ball. When I was at Ajax, when I played, we always had the ball, always in possession. And then now, went to Sweden, came to a team that did not have the ball often. You were on the opposite side, whereby you have to defend. And you also you have to create your own chances. And you also get minimum chances, 5-6 chances per game for the team, whereby the other team gets more than 10 per game. So, then also you have to run defensively and also take your chances when you get them.
Hey, Robert Marawa, how you, meneer? That young man must say Malume, Robert Marawa. Thank you for bringing that young man. It's White Shangan here, all the way from Naturina. Yeah, Kaizer Chiefs finest. You know, Mr. Marawa, I'm listening to that young man speak, and I saw him play against us, and he destroyed us. You know what? We as a country need to learn and take such people and say, you know what? Educate us. Give us the background. Because we have lost our identity in soccer, and we as South Africans do not have passion like he's describing. And we do not take our youngsters and nurture them and look after them. Look, we're crying at Kaizer Chiefs. We were great before. We're not great. But congratulations to that young man. Well done, my boy. Keep it up and keep the flag of South Africa flying. Yeah, you're part of the rivals, but well done. Kosi Nation, White Shangan. Thank you, Mr. Robert Marawa. What a show. What a show. Danko.
Oh, Malume White Shangan. My goodness, thank you so much. So much praise. Are you blushing now? I mean, it's so full of praise, though.
No, it's just
Jokes aside,
the passion in his voice that he was speaking. So I was just listening to that.
And he's a Chiefs supporter.
I heard.
What does that say? I mean, if opposition, great opposition that you arrive in the country and you bang a brace against, they're the ones phoning the show and they're saying, kudos to you. Hail, Tashreeq.
I mean, I can just say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to them. I mean, it can happen to anyone, but all I can say is thank you for the good words.
Good evening, Robert. This is the man, Guten Abend, Matthews. Just to find out from Matthews, who is his best inspirer at Sundowns in terms of players? And again, what is his actual goal? Is he there to stay at Sundowns, or is at Sundowns still seeking to go abroad? And what is it that the coach always tell him when he enters the field of play? Because he's quite an energetic player, a freelancer, Robert, so to say, in the field of play. Good show as always.
I haven't heard that before. Freelance on the field. It's just like a Duracell bunny, man. You're all over the place. But who inspires you at Sundowns of all those players?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. If I have to mention, I could probably mention the whole team because everyone has this drive just to get better every day.
And he was just saying that, what is the instruction from the coach? Because like he says, he just sees this energetic, hungry player, wants to do well, wants to score, wants to provide assists, and you cover the length and the breadth of the field. What is the instruction to you?
I mean, the coach usually just tell us it's not everyone. There's not a lot of people that gets the opportunity to inspire people out there. Yeah. So this is your moment. This is what God gave you. So go out there and inspire people that are watching.
Talking about people are watching on the YouTube channel. Karabo Chale says, Tash is very versatile and can play anywhere in attack positions. He says, where is he most comfortable? I think he did well as a number 10 at Sirius. Is there a certain position that you love more than the other?
I actually grew up, I started at Ajax as a striker.
Yeah.
Then went to a deeper midfielder as a number 8. Then moved on to left wing. And then as my senior career started, I was switching between number 10 and left wing.
Have you played goalkeeper then?
No.
I was kidding. I was like, yeah, you've covered virtually everything. That's what you call a versatile player.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Tashreeq Matthews. Rob, I got to know about that player through the work that's been done by this brilliant gentleman, Prince Sobayeni, who relentlessly monitors these South African-born players who are based outside of the country. I think the man is doing exceptional work. But Rob, I was following the conversation quite nicely when Tashreeq was giving us a rundown of the atmosphere in Germany. And for me, Rob, I think the story is not complete, because you only ended at the car parkings and all that, because I'm very much interested to know how is the atmosphere, having watched it on the television, how is the atmosphere at Signal Iduna Park when Borussia Dortmund is playing, particularly the yellow section. Have you ever been in that section, and how is the atmosphere there? Thank you so much, Tebogo.
Tebogo, thank you so much. Have you actually been with the fans?
I've been invited, but I did not go because it's crazy there.
It's madness.
Yeah, as a player,
do you get scared, or how do you
No,
feel?
as a player, if you get invited, I've been on the side, but then it was empty because I just went on a stadium tour when I got there. But I've been there and I've been invited by the fans and the stuff to come and watch the game from their perspective, from their view, from the yellow wall. But to stand for 90 minutes, and when there's a goal being scored, I'm sure 90% of them are wet.
I don't know how, but, when they talk about the Clásico, you can go to the other side at Munich. It's mad, it's crazy, yes, but it's nothing like you get at Dortmund.
No, even when my father, when he was there as well, watching the Champions League against Atletico Madrid, and sold out 80,000, and it's just difficult even during the game to communicate, because the fans cheering, the loud, the noise just never stops, and it just goes louder when there's a goal or an opportunity.
Tell me about this guy called Ronwen Williams. I see he's officially launched his foundation, Ronwen 30 Foundation, Youth Month coming up as well, 200 learners, 20 coaches, 4 schools. He's doing so much off the field as he does on the field.
Yeah, fantastic guy. Is my roommate at the club.
Your roommate. I've seen him.
He's my roommate. So we share a room, and I've also, since we became roommates, I've had a lot to hear about the foundation. Whenever we are in the room, it's him talking about the foundation on the phone, trying to get things to go for the Youth Day big event that he will have. And actually just listening to it, it's also exciting. It also encourages me to look into a foundation and also to do something.
So you talk about him being your roommate, and just finally, and the reason why he's able to catch all of these penalties. Is he diving around, stealing towels and diving on over them in the room? What's he doing?
No. Like I said, he's in the room. He won't even realize that he's there beside, that he's on the phone call with his foundation. So he tries to get as much done in his free time with his foundation.
Good stuff aside, what crazy stuff does he do very quickly?
In the mornings, when we wake up and he gets up, he shouts, so I can wake up as well.
Shouts what? For you to wake up?
Yeah, he shouts at me to wake up as well, because he usually puts on an alarm for the two of us.
Yes.
So when it goes off, both of us wakes up, but he usually gets up first. So when he gets out of bed, he shouts, so that I can also just get up.
These captains, man, you must tell him not to shout. He's not at the stadium.
Nah, I tell him all the time, but that's just his thing to do.
Okay, Captain, please calm down, man. Tashreeq's new at the club. He can't be shouting at newcomers like that. My friend, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, Rob.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.